Razaban here for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. A bit of a change of scenery today, I think, with my man, the knowledge Spencer Fearon. Spence, where are we at?
South London, my friend. I'm just going to run into Blue Jays Caps. I've got to give them a plug. And yeah, and do some bits and bobs. How are you, my brother?
I'm good. I'm good. What's Blue Jays Caps saying? Good food?
No, it's incredible. You know what I mean? South London's finest. You know what I mean? Don't believe me? Ask Stormzy, ask Dave, go through the whole list. You know what I mean? Ask Pro Bees, he knows. You know what I mean? From Pep Talk, he knows.
Shout out to Pep Talk. Spence, been a bit of a quiet month this week, with this month in regards to boxing. Obviously, things started to kick off this week with Frank Warren's got a show, then fight camp back to back. I just want to quickly go back to the weekend. Did you watch Charlo's performance?
Against Castano, yeah?
Castano.
Yeah, you know what? I thought Charlo was very fortunate to get the win. Not the win, the draw, sorry. My apologies. I thought he was very fortunate to get the draw. And, you know, but you know what? Charlo always does good in rematches. So hopefully there's a rematch close for us to see that fight being run again. But Castano is a very, very good fighter, man. Very bullish. Just, yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't study him that much. I thought that Charlo was going to win on points. But Castano, I rate him, you know? I really do rate him. Good fighter.
What do you make of the one of the judges' scorecard? I think it was 117, 111 in Charlo's favour. Everyone.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Seriously, it's ridiculous. No, come on. Let's be real. That was ridiculous. But you know what? It is what it is. Hopefully they can run it back. But I don't think Charlo won that fight. But like I said, Charlo, you know what I mean? I remember when he lost to Harrison, how he does very, very well in rematches. So let's see like what happens in the rematch.
Spence, Joe Joyce back in action this week. Obviously, last time he was out, a great victory over Daniel Dubois. I think that was back in November. He takes on Carlos Takam. Everyone knows Carlos in the UK, obviously, for Anthony Joshua. Got stopped. Derek Chisora knocked him out. Is this a good fight for Joe at this stage of his career?
Yeah, it is, because like who else? You know what I mean, I'd have more preferred him to fight Usyk, but all of a sudden now Usyk's back in the running, so Usyk's fighting Anthony Joshua in September. It is a good fight because Takam on paper will still be the most experienced guy that he's been in with. So it's still a decent fight. I see Joe Joyce maybe late stoppage, but a resounding points when I think will be more favorable to someone like Joe Joyce, who's got a methodical style of boxing, right? But he's very, very articulate in his boxing. It's just that sometimes you got to have a proper eye to see the things that Joe Joyce is doing. He's a very, very clever individual when he fights. He's very economical with his jab. I think, like, I know, like, they've been working on, like, to try to put the left hook in, but I don't think the left hook is going to be the key shot for him. I think it's actually going to be the right uppercut. That's going to be the key shot for Takam, because Joe Joyce is the taller man, and also offsetting him. Like, every time that Takam makes a move, not just to throw one jab and move, but to throw two jabs and maybe a right hand, and then move. Because, you know, Takam comes in, he kind of jumps in with his jab, and he kind of jumps in with an overhand right and a left hook. So I think the double jab will be the key shot to offset him, so you can offset him by creating range and creating distance.
I know obviously one of Joe's had a great amateur career, a long amateur career. He came into the professional ranks a little bit later than usual. He's 34, 35 years of age. How much of a problem is he in the elite top heavyweight division?
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. The fight that he was meant to have with Usyk, I tipped him to beat Usyk, and that's not me going against Usyk. Usyk as a cruiserweight is one of the greatest of all times. I got him in the top three greatest cruiserweights of all time. But me having Usyk as a heavyweight, he hasn't impressed me as a heavyweight. He didn't impress me against Derek Chisora. He didn't impress me against Chaz Witherspoon. So I was kind of tipping Joe Joyce to beat Usyk. So Joe Joyce being at the age that he is, it doesn't make any difference because he's still young, relatively in professional fighting terms. So, you know what I mean? Joe's still a young fighter.
Do you see? Obviously, everyone's saying that Usyk, like you just said, hasn't impressed you at heavyweight. It looks like Usyk's gonna get that Joshua fight. Let's just flip it a little bit. How does Joyce cope with the Dylans, the Joshuas, the Furies? Does he mix it well with them? Has he got enough credentials to mix it with those elite level fighters?
I think he would because he got man strength. And that's the thing that you got. He actually has man strength. And historically, we say like heavyweights, you know what I mean? Heavyweights kind of peak when they hit into the 30s, when they hit 30. He's 34, right? And I think like and by his body definition, you see when he first started, he wasn't as big as he is today. He's got bigger as well. We see this with guys as they develop. Look at Dillian Whyte when he first started, how tiny he was. Look how like his body frame. Look how tiny Anthony Joshua was. Look how his body frame changed. Tyson Fury, prime example, body frame has changed. The only one in the heavyweight division, his body frame hasn't changed, is Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? But I would say if we're dealing with athleticism, I would say like Deontay Wilder is the most athletic heavyweight in the world. But because of that athleticism, it hasn't slowed him up because he hasn't gained weight, he hasn't bulked up. All the rest of the guys, they're bulked up. And Deontay Wilder hasn't. So when you look on somebody like a Joe Joyce hasn't slowed up. You can look at his body, you just know like he's got man strength there. You can see it. He's a very, very strong man.
As he's had his last couple of fights, has he impressed you more? We obviously saw that Daniel Dubois fight. Surprisingly, a lot of people had Daniel winning, would win that fight. Daniel with his power, come forward, his strength, and being young. But the way Joe controlled that fight, did that impress you even more to say that this guy's got so much more arsenal to his game?
No, he has got, but it's not. Listen, you can't go to the Olympics in the manner that he's gone to the Olympics, right? And you know what I mean, these fight with Yonka, he actually could have got the gold medal in that fight, right? So we can't look on him and think like he's a vastly experienced man. What style of boxing hasn't he been accustomed to? He's seen everything, right? So it's like when people said like they had Daniel Dubois to win that fight, you know what I mean, I didn't, and there's nothing against Daniel Dubois. I actually like Daniel Dubois, so get that on the record, right? But I didn't see how Daniel Dubois could win that fight because of the things that Joe Joyce was bringing to the table. And they've seen Joe Joyce now. Joe Joyce brings a lot to the table in this heavyweight climate.
Where would you like to see Joe go after Takam if successful?
Well, he's got to be successful against Takam. I believe that he will be successful against Takam. And then, you know what? Bottom line is this: it's like Tyson Fury's got to get past Deontay Wilder, which is not a foregone conclusion when they fight in October. As I said to you before, October is the month of upsets in the heavyweight division. Let's look at things historically, right? So, and then Anthony Joshua got to get past Usyk. Once that happens, we're still going to be screaming for the undisputed. But there are guys who are still on the peripheral where we could see most probably Joe Joyce in with the loser of either Anthony Joshua Usyk or the loser of Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder. But then if the money's right, then Joe Joyce versus Dillian Whyte. Why not? And let that be for a version of the world title.
And do you feel almost kind of sorry for kind of the Dillian Whyte, the Joe Joyce's, kind of the level just below where they were all...
No, I don't. No, the only one I feel sorry for is Dillian Whyte, and that's me being 100. Because he's been around, I mean, a guy loses, comes back, gets the win again, still has to wait for a world title. Right, that's the only one I feel sorry for. The other guys, they haven't really earned their spot like my guy. Dillian Whyte's earned his spot. So Dillian Whyte should get a shot at a world title eventually.
And going back to Takam, is there anything Takam can do to cause an upset?
Yes, applied pressure. We saw what fight was it? Where Joe Joyce got hit with a body shot and hurt by the body shot.
With Brian Jennings?
Right? Brian Jennings, that's right. But he got hit and hurt by a body shot. I think he's gonna be his attack. He's a good body puncher as well. So maybe it's gonna be like that, apply pressure to the body. But I'm saying maybe in the Brian Jennings fight, that was like a one-off occasion that he took Brian Jennings kind of lightly, got caught with a shot on a floating rib and it hurt him. But we shall see as things pick up. But I would say to Takam's main point is to perpetual head movement and a horrid body attack. If I was Takam, you know what fight I'd have him study? I'll have him study, was it the 69 fight or 70 fight? With Joe Frazier versus Jerry Corey. I remember that was Ring Magazine Fight of the Year as well. It was an incredible fight, right? And just the pressure, that applied pressure, you got to be on him like, you got to be in his chest like Bellenin or Vicks Vapor Rub. You got to be on him. Don't give Joe Joyce no room to like Joe Joyce likes to create distance. Don't give him no room, and punch with him and punch his ribs, punch his elbows. That apply pressure. We don't know what could happen, but that's the tactics that I'll have for him to go into that fight. Don't try to enter into a boxing match with this guy, because even though Joe Joyce fights at a slow pace, you've seen him do this whole caballero and stuff like that, where he can jump around and flip in the air and stuff. So he's a very athletic man. So don't let him use that athleticism. That would be what I'll say to him. Just be on him.
Okay. All right, Spence. Thank you so much for your time. Can you do the same stuff that Joe does as well with the flips, Spence?
No, I can't do none of those kind of things, man. I'm an old man now. You know what I mean? Grey hairs up in the bed and stuff like that. So no, that's not for me. All right. And also, may I say to all my Muslim brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? Eid Mubarak. And like, yeah, let our days be beautiful and let us be the best examples to mankind. Reason why we'd have to be the best examples to mankind, because we have to set the best examples. Simple as that.
No, absolutely. You too as well, Spence. Have a lovely day with your family.
Assalamu alaikum.
We'll catch up soon. Spencer Fearon, IFL TV. Thank you very much.